So we said, looking at your structural assessment, and this is what you're going to get. You're going to get this exact thing home. Okay.
Cool.
So on everything on here, unfortunately, it's not Mac friendly. Okay, it needs to run a PC. But all you'll do is
that's okay.
Pop this, and you can run this off of the DVD. It runs better if you actually load it on the computer because it's a huge file. It's a bunch of gigs.
Okay.
But load it on. When it comes on, you'll see it says polygonviewer.exe. Click on that, and this screen, the screen comes up.
Okay.
And so this is your report. Red is always the left side. Green always indicates the right side. And then we've got here is a bunch of our step-down tests or jumps. We have different views of our skeleton view, which is more of a kind of a fun view. You can take and actually rotate it. You can watch it. You can zoom in and out on it. Okay. And just your heart's content. It's kind of a fun little view to see some things, and actually, I'll show you some on here in a second. You can also actually track markers and such too. You can do that. You can actually it's kind of neat for you. So I'll click on this, double click on this marker, right click on it, object. I'm going to go to show trajectory. Okay, and then we'll do is go this way. Right. We'll notice something here. That's sort of the path.
See, it's deviating.
Yeah. You see how it just kind of goes all over.
Yeah.
And much more. What would you do? What would you do? There we go. Okay. More of a rotational path, then okay. Quite different, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See how this guy is much further. Yeah, it kind of hooks. Can you come back? This one's not. Okay. Let's see here. I come to the front spot, the same place. Okay. But this left leg hooks back a whole lot. Okay. That's a principal thing I want you to. So you've seen that kind of from this plane now. All right. Does that make some sense?
Yes.
Oh, wait. I hit the knee. Sorry. Wrong one. Should probably not do that, shouldn't I? Let's try that again. Look at this. See how these guys hook over?
Yeah.
Okay, this way. These guys are much straighter. Okay, this path. This hooking motion you have back through here, okay, it's called a heel whip, right? I'm going to show it to you. Right. Now, in front of you. Look at that foot.
Yeah.
It just flicks off the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, it actually crosses behind your right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I used to always hit my legs,
right.
Actually.
Yep. Actually, you give us a slider bar, you can slow this down too if you want to. Right. So you can see how it kind of flicks across. So look at your right leg. You actually do a very good job contacting, getting mid-stance control, just like you did in balance, right? I mean, your right foot does a pretty darn good job. You keep equal contact across the whole foot, and you push straight off the foot. I don't have a problem with that. Okay. Look at your opposite side. We don't see that. Right? We tend to see this leg actually whip across. Right? So you're basically contacting, and you roll off the outside of the foot. Okay, now, I know it's nice to think about, foot stuff is separate, okay, but the thing I want you to realize is the foot's connected to the entire leg, okay? And so for your case, because you don't actually utilize the big toe, I think you said, earlier you asked me about gait analysis, you're that classic example of a compensator, okay? You supinate like crazy, not because your foot needs to overly supinate, but you just don't use your big toe, so you actually don't point it enough, okay? I want you to get your big toe down, because watch what happens when you get my big toe down, my hip rotates in, right? Okay? And you actually want to have some internal rotation to help cushion absorb shock for you. when I look at your data, every single person should contact at some given amount of hip rotation and actually internally rotate more to dissipate and allow shock. You actually contact when the external rotation at your hip immediately, okay? So you actually go the wrong way. I think you don't do this not because of hip stiffness. I looked at your hip stiffness and it's fine. It's actually pretty symmetric, okay? But I think this abnormal pattern of hip mobility is likely due to foot and ankle control or lack of it, okay? And also this is an ankle stiffness, so I do some lobes in your rear foot to try and get some more motion there and get you more contact of your midfoot.
Okay.
It's a really critical aspect. All right, secondly, I want you to watch your body run here. And look at this blue belt around you. That belt shifts back and forth and sort of skates a little bit. Okay, so guess what? If I look at your force graphs here, right? I'm seeing lateral measurements. So this is looking at vertical forces, so up and down forces. This looks at braking acceleration forces. And this looks at medial lateral forces. Okay, so if we look at your graphs, you push off with 200 newtons on your left leg and 230 on the left and on the right. Okay, laterally you push off with 100 newtons here and 75 here, 100 here, 100. So basically the idea is you have about half as much lateral forces as you do propulsion forces. Okay, there's a lot of this going on. Okay, this means that you have to have more lateral hip stability to stabilize it. If you don't, you're going to wind up overloading tissue. Does that make sense?
Say it one more time.
Okay. Look at the amount of force that you push off with.
Yes.
Okay. You fall laterally about half as much. That's a lot. Okay. So if you have more motion laterally the whole time I'm kind of going back and forth, when I come back on this leg, I have to have force on my hip to stabilize that motion, and then falling back.
Doing all this unnecessary work.
Exactly. Okay. So what I want to do is bring you back to here, get back to midline. There's no reason to have all excessive lateral shift.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this causes a lot of overloaded tissue. Now, what's the thing we found there? Okay, when I had you today, a little hip glute med test for you. Okay, when I had you bend your knee up, you had tons of strength, right? When I had you extend your hip back, he's like, yeah, I can barely get it in that position to begin with. Okay, you don't have enough strength to control it from mid stance and a push off. Okay, that's when you need to get your hip extension and glute med strength. Okay, so I'm gonna take a step backwards today and go under some specific exercises to really nail this guy. Okay, that's really critical. Looking here, this is a measure of efficiency. So if you think about when you run, running is kind of like a rubber band. Okay, you basically, from contact to mid-stance, we store elastic energy and we release elastic energy. Okay, if we store 264 newtons in the right leg, I want 264 back, not 230. Okay, if I store in the left leg 257, I want that back, not 204. Okay, so where is the discrepancy here? Well, it comes from some aspects of basically, again, being over-dominant at the quad. Okay, I want to teach you how to use more hamstring muscles to try to normalize this out a little better. I'll show you some run cues to help with that.
So you're saying some of that energy that should go into the stretch is actually getting dissipated by the muscle or something like that?
Yeah, it's work that you're actively doing. So you're working, you're actually producing mechanical work on the muscle, but it's basically going to slowing you down in contact. Looking a little bit more here. Cadence helps that very nature we just talked about. You're at 85. Okay, I want your cadence to be closer to 90. Okay. Simple. Look at your watch. In 20 seconds, you're going to hit 30-foot strikes. Probably heard that before. It works.
Okay.
It's a very simple way to decrease that. Talk about the hip angles. Again, for somebody who's got some left side problems and really want to try and address your lateral forces, you look at forces at the actual hip joint. Okay, you put almost double the force. Okay, 1 Newton per kilogram on the left, we're only 0.6 on the right. Okay, so the very leg you're trying to, you should be trying to offload. You're actually put more force on that side, okay? And when you run, it sort of looks visually like you sort of kind of shift over towards that left a little bit, and in fact you do. And this increases the demand for lateral stability that you don't really have, okay? So we need to increase your strength, sure, but I also need to do some things for technique for you.
Okay.
Again, this trend of more force on the left side persists in the knee as well. You put 1.5 Newton per kilograms, or actually 1.6 or so, 1.7 on the left versus 0.6 0.6 on the right. So again, you're increasing lateral forces here because you're not allowing that foot to contact down. If you let it come down, you'll bring the force line back to where it should be.
So it's just simply a matter of try to let the big toe touch?
Get the big toe touch, but then also stabilize the hip. Yeah, big toe's got to touch. All right, let's look at lateral forces at the foot and ankle. I'd like to see, this is our graph here, okay, this is time, this is some amount, okay. I'd like to see you basically, if here's 0, I'd like to see you have to generate some type of stabilization force to control pronation, reach a peak, and come back off again, okay. If I look at your right side, or on the other side of 0, okay, this is not because of foot and ankle problems, it's because you are falling rapidly to the left. Okay, so if you look at where your foot is in relation to contact, your foot's too far lateral on your right side, okay, which is just letting you just fall, continue to the right side. Your foot and ankle balance is better than you've got, but again, you've shifted over towards the left, which is why we see this pattern occur. Okay,
so that's a right foot, though.
Right foot. So to bring your trunk back into midline, okay, will help change force of the ankle.
You're saying when my right foot lands, my trunk collapses left?
Saying you land like that. Okay, because yeah, when you run, you shift it over towards the left. Okay, so think about it, put right foot down, I'm here. That makes sense. So it shifts this. Remember I showed that that little arrow goes up and down. Well, yeah, when you shift over to the left, the arrow shifts this way. It shifts to this side of the ankle joint center. So you're always falling to the inside. Okay, now, okay, the left side, this graph looks like I wanted to, the shape of it, but it's very high. Okay, again, it's high because you're basically just rolling off the outside. You're actually not allowing things to come down to the inside. So I want to try and get, again, this increased lateral force here puts more strain rate on the Achilles. This is the cause of your chronic Achilles problems right here. Okay, so yes, to get the Achilles to go away, drive the big toe down. This gets into the nuts and bolts of it too. You know, one of the things here, I'm sorry, I messed this up. Pretend that's not shaded, but this is from here down, from here down. Again, if we look at concentric and eccentric work, so concentric is a muscle working, it's a shortening contraction, eccentric is a lengthening contraction. These are normal. You have concentric and eccentric contractions, but you have a huge one on your left leg. Okay, you basically put in, you know, 11, 12 watts per kilogram here, and only 5 on the right side. Okay, so you're basically storing twice as much energy here in the left knee. Problem is, you store a lot, you don't get it back. Okay, so again, changing that contact style will help you bring that foot a little bit closer into you. Okay?
Okay.
So, take-home message is, we're going to do some work on your ankle right now, so you can get some little motion there. Okay, we're going to do some things to look at, again, trying to get you to utilize the big toe a little bit better, and then think about what you can do from the hip to get that leg to actually rotate in and get control of it. All right?
Okay. Primary things, the foot isn't landing flat, and the leg is rotating, the left leg is rotating externally.
Right. So the foot is not landing flat because, okay, I don't think you have enough rear foot mobility. I'm going to do some stuff in your rear foot mobility right now to help you get down.
Okay.
And then once you get there, you need to increase your strength to hold it there. Okay. So just like today, when I had you balance and this guy just kept popping up like this. Okay. I want you to learn to drive down so you can use the full width of the forefoot to control things. So just rocking on the outside of the foot. Right now, your strategy is I'll just hang out over here. Okay, and what that does is it excessively inverts the ankle, okay, basically rolls it out, which causes the Achilles to be in a lengthened position the entire time, so you put increased strain rate at every single step.
Okay.
Okay.